I mentioned Texas, I mentioned Beto O'Rourke got destroyed. And usually I say, okay, let's take the high road, let's not rub it in anybody's face. But Beto, he just bothers me, okay? And so Alex Stein, who has become one of the absolute top trolls in America, and he just seems, completely unleashed and like a dog with a bone. And I had him on the show, and he just does things that are so vulgar and mean, and you just say, I could never do that. Well, anyway, he did it to Beto, and it was very, very funny.
Do you feel guilty about the millions of dollars you wasted on your campaign, Beto? Why do you want to protect trans children? Do you feel guilty about the money you wasted? Do you feel guilty about the money you wasted? Do you feel guilty about the money you wasted? How are you going to protect trans kids by cutting off their genitals? How does that protect trans kids, Beto? Beto, how does that protect trans kids? Beto. Beto, how are you protecting trans kids by cutting off their genitals?
Let's do it. No, it's all right.
Beto, you know you're going to lose, Beto. This is how many losses in a row? How many more losses are you going to take, Beto?
Just move forward.
Beto, how many more losses are you going to take? Are you going to quit? Where's your campaign money going? Beto, are you quitting after this failure? Are you going to quit after you fail today?
Are you give back the money that you have?
Beto, do you feel guilty that you're a loser, Beto? Beto, do you feel bad about losing? Beto.
Hey, get out of my shot. Come on, get out of the way. Let's step out of the way. Back up. Get up.
Beto, do you feel like a loser, Beto?
The election night, it was a little bit, I just feel like I'm getting a little sick. I was so excited, I thought I was going to be popping champagne, and now I'm feeling just a little down, like I'm just a little worn down. And that video of Alex Stein just yelling at Beto and calling him a loser and asking if he feels bad for wasting millions of dollars on another failed campaign, it's just like a nice bowl of chicken soup. It's just like a nice warm broth. I just like... And then people are trying to pull Alex Stein away and kind of hit him in the head with signs. But he's just kind of a big, belligerent madman. And so he doesn't even care. He just a dog with a bone, doesn't even stop. Beto, you're a loser. You want to chop off kids' genitals. Why are you such a loser, Beto? So it was a nice, after the kind of headache and aches and pains of election night kind of set in, that's just a nice little bit of chicken soup. Right now, head on over to establishedtitles.com/Knowles. Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Lord or Lady and gain the respect you deserve. All you need is a 1 square foot plot of land in Scotland, okay? I had this problem where I thought, I'm just not getting the respect that is due to me, okay? People, they'd come up to me, they'd say, hey, Michael, hey, Mr. Knowles, Mr.? I want to be referred to as a laird. Or a lord, okay? There is this wonderful Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. Well, in your title pack, you will be bestowed with at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, plus an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. Title packs from Established Titles are a fun and unique gift for any occasion. There are a couple packs because you don't want to let your wife, just be some strumpet. You're a lord and then she's just some chick on the street. So you want her to be a lady as well. Established Titles told me that the first 200 people to purchase a title pack using my exclusive link will receive a plot within walking distance of mine. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can begin to build our own kingdom. Established Titles is actually running a massive sale right now, and if you use code Knowles at checkout, you will get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/Knowles to get your gifts now and help support the channel. It was a bit of a rough night. And it's hard to figure out exactly what the takeaway is. Now, I will say, I try not to make predictions. You'll notice I usually do not make these firm predictions about election night. In fact, in as much as I did make predictions, I said, guys, I actually don't think we're going to really win Pennsylvania. I don't think Mastriano's going to win. I don't think John Fetterman I don't think Dr. Oz is going to beat Fetterman. I think Fetterman's going to be an upset. I did predict that Sean Patrick Maloney, the head of the DCCC, would lose in New York's 17th Congressional District. He would lose to the Republican Michael Aller. I was right about that one too. So I made very particular predictions where I felt that the evidence was relatively clear. I did not make grand sweeping predictions, and even other than, maybe advertising copy for the election show, I didn't say, it's guaranteed we're going to have a red tsunami. I'm going to be drinking leftist tears all night. I tempered expectations because I said, there's going to be some questions. People have been voting since September. There's there's some not great candidates out there. And so I just think, as Drew Clavin says, you can't predict the future. The future is the future. That's why it is the future. And so there is this funny thing that goes on, which is that the pundits and the prognosticators who make it their job to say, I know exactly what's going to happen on election night, and they get all the predictions wrong. Then the next day they come out and they tell you precisely why their predictions, precisely why things happened as they did happen. And they kind of ignore the fact that their predictions were all wrong. That happens across the aisle, and it happens all the time with political pundits. Being a political pundit is never having to say that you're sorry, especially if you're the kind that just tries to predict every single race. And so you're going to see a ton of people today say, well, this is exactly why the Republicans didn't do very well. And you're going to see a coincidence here that the reasons why the Republicans didn't do as well as they were supposed to is going to totally line up with all of the pundits' priors. It's going to affirm every premise that the pundits had going in, even if those premises did not result in accurate predictions for election night. And that's just what happens. That's just politics. But I've got a less popular, but I think more accurate take, which is there are a lot of factors here. And you can't just blame it on the fraud, and you can't just blame it on Trump, and you can't just blame it on early voting, and you can't just blame it on Roe v. Wade, and you can't just, there's a lot going on, especially when you look at two races. You look at J.D. Vance and Blake Masters. J.D. Vance in Ohio, Blake Masters running for Senate in Arizona. They ran the same campaign. They're basically the same candidate. They've got the same background. They've got the same backers. They ran on the same platform. J.D. wins. Blake very, very likely will lose, or it's just very unclear, at least at the moment. Why is that? Well, Ohio and Arizona are different. That's part of it. There's just a lot. There's just a lot in there. And so what you're going to see now is the battle over what happened. And the battle over what happened is nothing more than a proxy for the battle for 2024. When I say the election is dead, long live the election, this is not the second day of counting the votes of Election Day 2022. This is the first day of the 2024 Republican presidential primary. And so all of the commentary that you're going to be seeing today is a facade, a thinly veiled facade for a campaign for one candidate or another in 2024. And because I actually have not picked a candidate and I'm not endorsing, certainly not at this stage in a presidential primary, that's why I am just trying to present all of these sides and all of these factors that went into the midterms last night. Though I am very interested in hearing from you as well in what you think happened, in what you were seeing in your polling places. I mean, the listeners to this show are spread not just all around the country, but all around the world. And we know that people all around the world are watching the American elections as well. Most of the people here at the Daily Wire have coincidentally just been overseas in Europe or the Middle East within the past month. And we know that people overseas everywhere follow the American elections. But especially for those of you who are listening from the United States right now, what did you see in your precinct, at your polling place, with your candidate, with the Republican congressional candidate in your district? Some races that we thought we were going to win. My friend Bo Hines was running in North Carolina. He lost. Lauren Boebert, really, really on the ropes, Republican congressman, another friend of mine in Colorado. So what happened? What did you see? And especially as everyone is just looking to be so vindictive the next morning, who do you blame? Let me know. You can let me know on Twitter or in email or whatever, comments and mailbag, but you can especially let me know in the member block of this show. The rest of the show continues now. It is Woke Wednesday. We've got an ad from Fetterman that my producers tell me is one that I actually didn't play. I haven't seen this one. So I guess they just want to rub salt in the wounds of Senator Fetterman coming out. You don't want to miss this part of the show. If you're not a member, click on the link in the description and join us.